Hello and welcome to This Week in Frax. We can just call it BAMM Week, can't we?
Bam, bam, bam. Yeah.
The market woke up, or crypto Twitter woke up, and everybody was talking about it. After the tweet by Michael that came out last week, which we did talk about, there was a lot of buzz. Pretty much all the discussion inside the Frax chat room on Telegram this week was all about BAMM. And we had 2 articles come out on BAMM too. So, and then tomorrow will essentially be a third with the This Week in Frax. So it's pretty cool. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, me too. It's really, it's really nice to see that not just the Frax community, but the DeFi community is hungry and open to new ideas and new primitives. And I feel like they've been waiting for something like BAMM to come along for a while, because you see like a lot of things, just like the same copy paste on like different chains or like different L2s, like this and that. But it's very rare that you see now like a new DeFi primitive that's simple. Like you see like new primitives, but they're really complicated. They're hard to wrap around. Only like a few advanced quant level users can actually utilize them and actually use them. But with something like BAMM, what makes these primitives revolutionary is like people that aren't, really that advanced go and like, oh, LP. Like that was the magic of Uniswap v2. X times Y equals K. Like, oh, LP, like passive. Same thing with BAMM, LP passive. Now it's with this extra dimension of the borrow.
Yeah. So it's interesting with the LPs, like when you're borrowing against the LPs. So let's say you have ETH and then you're using it in collateral with the ETH Frax pair. If you take the Frax out, and now you're essentially like long ETH at that point, you could get leveraged up. You could buy more ETH. Your position works a little bit differently than like a Fraxlin position. So a Fraxlin position is completely denominated in dollars. So like that fixed price is always going to be there. And if there's a lot of volatility, you might get pushed into liquidation. However, with the BAMM pairs, what happens is because it's an LP, it's a 50-50 asset. So when the price of ETH goes down, half of the price of your LP goes down as well too. So it gives a little bit more wiggle room, and it should be almost like a better way to borrow with BAMM.
So it's denominated in the LP.
Yeah. So it's denominated in the LP. So that's what we published today. Yesterday now on Thursday, we did the math behind BAMM, and we looked at how some of these calculations work of how the price moves around up and down. And it's pretty cool. It's definitely going to be a game changer. And I don't think it's really from the borrower's perspective, it's cool, but it's even cooler from the LP's perspective, because now you get to add on an entire new layer of yield onto your AMM. So
yeah,
the swap fees will no longer be the only driving force of how you get yield, which is pretty cool, because in low volatility time periods, there may not be a ton of swaps. Like volume may decline, but there still may be borrowing demand for the assets that are in the LP.
I feel like this is a missing element, because LPs get wrecked. That's just been the case most of the time. And BAMM offers a way for LPs to be profitable, because it adds this really important part of the whole of the DeFi trinity to the AMM. So it's exciting to see this come out. It's being discussed, coming out soon. And great job, you, Phil, Peepo, the whole team, and really creating a narrative from nothing. No one was talking about BAMM before this, and now it's BAMM on everybody's minds.
Yeah, and hopefully this narrative carries through. Like Fraxchain is coming in January, and we've had clear communications from Sam and the team that BAMM is going to be an integral part of Fraxchain. I don't know. Maybe there's you could build a perp dex with BAMM. You could build a lending facility. You could do all these crazy things. Like we talked to the Infinity Pools guys like a long time ago, and they were building this like perpetual dex that you could essentially borrow up to 1,000 times or 10,000 times X leverage. Which is crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So with all that going live on Fraxchain sometime in January, we could see a huge renewed focus on Frax going forward.
Yeah, will be exciting to see. I can't wait till Fraxchain launches. You see a lot of excitement around L2s again. I think I think I've said this before, but I think going into 2024 and like onward, like when it comes to these L2s, because we're gonna have so many of these things. It's like as we had the gelato guys, thousands of L2s. But I think the ones that are gonna stick and like the ones that you're gonna see pop off are ones that are gonna have like really novel game theory and uh, chain mechanics to incentivize people to participate there. You got a taste of that with Blast, although they haven't launched and they're looking for protocol engineers. But they were the first ones. Hey, like native yield, like let's like gamify it on the chain level. You have the Barachain guys who have been beating this drum for years now, and they've been constructing a chain from scratch with their proof of liquidity. And I would really love to have the Barachain guys on. I hope they, Smokey, if you hear this, like come on the show. And of course, there's Fraxchain, and you know that like Sam and the team are cooking up there. And this is the L2 version of like what incentives are they going to bring to like get people to come over to Fraxchain? Because it's just like all these different chains are launching. They're going to have like their own token incentives, like rented liquidity. Like I mean, we saw it with ARB with the STIP program, which has been successful in terms of like drumming up community support and people working with each other. But I'm curious to see like what Frax has in store, with what they're planning with their chain incentives. And I'll leave it at that. It's going to be really exciting to see. And I my body is ready.
Speaking of Fraxchain, we had the Testnet, which was
Oh my
announced.
God, that announcement was so funny. It's just yeah, it's basically live.
Like basically live. We'll have this information in the article, but you can go and actually test out the testnet. It is available. You just have to type in the chain and network information, and you can go over and make some transactions. It's just incredible. Like, comes out on Justin made this comment 3 days ago on the 4th, or it's like 4 days ago now, on the 4th of December, saying the Fraxchain is basically live now, although we are still cleaning up the bridge UI and actively working on it. So add whole sky, you got to go add whole sky, Fraxchain testnet, and then get some ETH and then bridge it over. And you can go fire off some transactions on Fraxchain. We might have to do that for an episode next week just to see how it works.
Oh, dude, I'm down. Like how to test that. That could be a good tutorial video, like how to test that. How do you go test on Fraxnet?
Yeah. But it's super cool to think about Fraxchain coming. It's going to have all the native services that we have on ETH are going to be ported over.
Fraxscan
and Fraxscan as well too. Yeah, very cool. This is probably going to be the biggest narrative for next year, I think.
Oh, by far. What LSTs were this year, you're gonna have. I think the narratives for next year that we're seeing are L2s, data availability. That's gonna be a big one. You're gonna have. You see a lot of other ones that aren't, I don't think, as big, but like I think could be something that like people gravitate towards, like DeSci, which was my prediction at the beginning of at the end of last year was DeSci, and that is actually popping off right now, which is really funny to see.
Well, you know what? We had that prediction episode, didn't we? Back in December of last year. Let's go. Yeah. We're going to do a recap episode where we go back and like watch ourselves talking about predictions for the next year.
I hate predictions though, because they're so forced.
Yeah, but we gotta look at what we said and see what actually came true.
Yeah.
If you think about like the product development between like then and now, like it's just been pretty incredible. So I
have a question for you. Like every year, Frax has like a narrative that they're going to beat. So like, 2022, it was like the DeFi Trinity. 2023 was stablecoin maximalism. 2024 is ...
Well, like late 2024 was all weather stablecoin, right?
All weather stablecoin for that's mine. All 2023.
Yeah,
and all weather stablecoin for all market conditions.
I don't know. Maybe it's either going to. I think it's something to do with either Fraxchain or Frax832.
I think Fraxchain. I think it has to do with Fraxchain. I think.
Hopefully.
I wonder what Sam is gonna like package it as, and then I'm gonna go around as core advocate to inform and preach to the masses.
So speaking of data availability, you know that Eigenlayer vote that took place a couple of weeks back where Frax didn't make it.
Yeah.
Well, Eigenlayer came out. They added those 6 LSTs or LSDs, to the Eigenlayer system now, so you can deposit in. Additionally, they said in their announcement that they're going to be adding in Frax ETH relatively soon.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, I think there was honestly a miscommunication with
I think
joke
so, yeah.
race. Yeah, I think like the contracts. It was a miscommunication. I don't think like anything was like meant and like to be taken the wrong way. It's just I was talking to like the joke race guys, and they were saying how basically it wasn't verified because it was like a no deploy contract and like it was like hard to like verify it on Etherscan. But like now there's like a way to, I think with Block Scout they can like verify the contracts now. So like that issue won't happen again in the future. So miscommunications always happen. And it's good to see that Eigenlayer is adding Frax ETH to the fold. And I think Joke Race is a really cool platform. And it's really cool to see like something like Eigenlayer become such a selling point using Joke Race as a platform.
I looked at Joke Race before. What does he do?
It's basically it's competitions. Basically, it's a competition incentivized platform. So it's like, oh, like here's like about. We should have David Phelps on to talk about it.
Well,
sometime.
Let's see. So just to check in on the RWA narrative, I saw this really nice tweet from Seraphim earlier this week, and he posted a chart and he said Maker TVL declines exactly as the 10-year rate goes from 5% to 4.2% since October. RWA slows down when TradFi rates go down, which is a prerequisite for the bull market. This isn't a view on MakerDAO growth as its collateral base can shift, but RWA only is going to be hard. And here's the TVL of STI during that time period, and then here's the rates as well too. So they go lockstep with each other.
It's all weather stablecoin for all market conditions. Think about all these one directional stablecoins that like, hey, we have like treasury yield, and now they're just like a worse version of USDC because they can't
Well, for Frax, it's the barbell. Remember, like if rates are going down, then people are buying ETH, and ETH is going up, and then we make more fees from ETH.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's good to see, like, and we'll keep on top of SFrax as it continues to grow. So this is some slightly conspiratorial alpha here. This week, our favorite cryptovestor posted this saying, wonder why Frax will be swapping $3 million worth of USDP to PYUSD with some eyes. He probably needs like a as well too. There are no coincidences, and we've seen some buzz coming from PayPal USD these past weeks. So something big is coming, I believe.
I believe there's something in the governance form as well.
Oh yeah, we'll get there in a second. Oh, actually, let's go there. Yeah. So there was also a FIP. This is FIP 30X, depending on when it goes, to whitelist PYUSD for the Frax Curve AML. So that's cool. That means that Frax will be able to use PYUSD across all the different services and protocols. Use it in Curve as well as Fraxland or anywhere else that it wants to. So very cool here. Or sorry, not Fraxland.
That's a big deal.
Fraxland, just the Curve AML.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. I have not looked at the PY. There is a PYUSD Frax?
I think there's a pool
pair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at it real fast, just to see how things are.
How we doing?
Yeah, just to see how things are doing. Okay, so it's called PayPal FraxB, PayPal FraxBP, and then there's also Curve USD. It only has 1 million in there, and it's getting 24% on the top end. Is that alpha? I mean, like that must be
a little, yeah. It's a little bit.
It's pretty crazy. 25%.
Yeah.
If you go to Convex, it's probably 22% there. That's pretty incredible for the PayPal FraxBP. So does this, if let's take a look at FraxBP or Frax USDP. Oh, there it is. Oop. So Frax USDP is the other Paxos connected pool. And this one has $35 million worth of assets in it, mostly Frax and some USDP. There's a 12 million USDP and 22 million Frax. So I don't know. I mean, if the AMO is the way it is, I mean, maybe this liquidity shifts over to PYUSD eventually.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, because like, this is the discussion that I was having with crypto investors, that from like a branding sense, like people don't really know USDP, but they're definitely going to know PYUSD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we see like USDP wind down as a brand and get shifted over into PYUSD in the long term.
Well, USDP, yeah. Well, Pax was just like a whitelister of stablecoins, so I could see like maybe USDP winds down, but like they like whitelist other stablecoins, not just PYUSD, but imagine on the other ones, like maybe they have like a bank like JP Morgan USDP or like something like that.
Did you see that testimony that?
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous because they've been
big.
doing like blockchain research since 2016. Quorum.
Do you know how much?
That's
money,
what I remember.
Yeah. Do you know how much money they made from crypto products last year?
How much?
$1.2 billion.
What crypto products?
Well, I think they're doing some like Bitcoin stuff, and so on their like revenue sheet, they pulled in about $1.2 billion from there. It's kind of crazy.
That's nuts.
We also had some other governance as well too. We have the FIP 304 and 305 to authorize Fraxchain AMO for new pairs. FXB 2024-061. And
FXB.
Exactly.
Soon.
Soon TM.
Soon TM.
So maybe the FXBs are going to start at the beginning of next year. Because like, look at this date. This is 2024 June 01, and then this is 2025 January 0101, January 1st 2025.
Oh, that makes sense.
And they're on that like yearly issuance, right? Where they like, well, this, I don't know why the 2024 is ending in January. Maybe it's just because of the duration for next year. They can only do 6 months. But if that's the case, then January 1st would be the first deployment of the Fraxchain or the FXB pairs.
Oh, wow. That's less than a month away.
Yeah. Less than a month away from the new halvening. FXBs, Fraxchain within 60 days.
Fraxi 3.2, BAMM.
I know. What comes after that? Have we gotten any other indications about like just like Fraxchain deployments?
I think after Fraxchain's the current horizon, and once the Fraxchain horizon passes and we have all the information about Fraxchain, then we can like see like what's next on the horizon.
Yeah, because there's going to be so much that needs to get built out there, from like perpetual dexes to lending facilities to vaults for yield optimization. There's going to be a ton to do, and the core Frax product is slowly starting to like ossify into like the stable coin and Frax ETH and then FPI as well too. And then Fraxchain is really going to open up the application side where Frax can start like having other teams come and build for Frax products, which is really cool.
It's going to be really exciting to see.
Yeah. There was also a request from Centrifuge to onboard as a RWA partner. I would like, I'm just mixed. I mean, like Frax has said several times that they will be using the public FinRes as the primary source for all the RWA stuff. But in this proposal, they're essentially asking to bring on Centrifuge as the legal conduit or another legal conduit that would take assets and put them into like different things, right? So a mixture of U.S. Treasuries, money market funds, like what FinRes invests into, but then also into real estate, corporate bonds, and then trade finance and other stuff as well too. So I don't know if this one will pass just based on the current like RWA meta for Frax at the moment.
I'm not sure either, especially with RWAs kind of, as you saw earlier with rates going down, you saw TVL shrink for Maker. So I'm not sure if maybe if this was like a few months ago, maybe, but like probably not right now, but we'll see. You never know.
Yeah. Well, they also want 5,000 Frax shares paid monthly over 12 months and to charge a 0.35% portfolio fee. So that kind of shows the benefit of having FinRes, where like all these things that normally would be paid for,
no fees.
Yeah, or like as minimal fees as possible to fund the RWA operations.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was it for governance. We also had a article on the STIP that we published this week. We worked with the Frax team to get the information from them about what they're planning for STIP, and STIP should be starting literally any day now.
Any day now we're going to STIP.
And just to review some of that information that we put out on Monday, we said that Frax received 1.5 million ARB, and they're going to be using this to deploy over 3 tiers of pools. So 50% of the incentives are going to go to the tier 1 pools. These are like Frax USD, C, Frax USDT, probably a lot of curve pools here to build up Frax liquidity. There's also some like stake Frax ETH pools. And so additionally, there's also a tier 2 pool, which is partnership pools, volatile pools that are maybe a bit smaller. And then tier 3, it should say tier 3, but it says tier 2. And those will go towards lending pools and vaults. And so we have the whole list of all the different pools here, along with the addresses as well too, so that you can go find them on Arbitrum. We have like Fraxlend lending coming with Frax Arb.
Ooh, been waiting for that.
And then a bunch of other incentives for like Lodestar, Ramses, Curve, Aave, UniV3, and Stargate as well too, and Wombat. Now, if you don't see a Frax pool on this list, I was actually talking with Romy from Abracadabra at MIM, their stablecoin this week, and I pointed out to him that, you know, hey, they're on Arbitrum and they could easily deploy a MIM Frax pair, and he said he was interested. So I passed along the application form, which is in the article here. And so if you know any protocols out there that might be interested in pairing against Frax on Arbitrum and receiving some of these STIP grants, just share the article that we wrote up on Flywheel. And then additionally, tell them about the pool registry, where you can come and provide all the information about the pools that are paired against Frax assets on Arbitrum, and register them to receive Arbitrum STIP grants, Arbitrum STIP rewards.
Yeah, I think I mean, speaking of rewards, I think like such a big endorsement of the whole Curve VE tokenomics model is this talk of PYUSD participating in the vote incentives and the bribes. Like that's huge. Like if you think about, and like that is such a stamp of approval of what Curve, Convex, and Frax have all built up together in this system, where now, like, you know, the world TradFi, they're coming on chain, they're coming to us, they're playing our games. It's not the other way around, which is huge. And that like reverberates, and now we're seeing like even on Arbitrum, you know, people can come in and apply, and like it shows that this model's here to stay, no matter what age, what chain. Like VE here to stay.
Very cool. Well, that's all I have for this week. Did you have anything else that you saw out and about?
No, you pretty much covered it all. Exciting week ahead with BAMM and Fraxchain talk. And I'm really excited. I don't think we're ready for like the Fraxchain and Fraxchain ecosystem and everything that could pop off there and then some. So, you know, gets the people going.
Are you going to be in LA for the halvening?
I should be. I'll have like do like another party.
In LA for the halvening.
Maybe maybe that'd be another happening party. I was thinking about doing like either like an episode or a space or something. Like oh yeah, we can talk about it after the show, but like definitely do something for the happening December 20th.
It's coming up soon. It's 3 weeks away. Or 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks away.
Oh gosh, it's less than 2 weeks.
That's yeah. Happening soon. Be warned.
So farm as much FXS as you can to go buy some Christmas presents for your loved ones. We only got a couple of weeks left, and hope you guys enjoyed this week. It was all about BAMM.
Yeah, it's all about BAMM. Hope you guys enjoyed this week as well. If you want to keep up with us every week, make sure you go ahead, hit that bell button, subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Give us a like. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials at FlyWheelDeFi on Twitter, TikTok, and Telegram. Make sure you follow yours truly on Twitter at DeFiDave22.
And I'm at traders_insight.
Subscribe to FlyWheelDeFi.com, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.